If you are new to Black Clover Mobile, if you're new to the JP version, the KR version, or the global version, whenever you're watching this video, these are some things you're going to need to know to make the game progress smoothly. Hey, what is up guys? DRC3 here, back with another Black Clover video, and today we have so many things to talk about. The first thing we're going to talk about for this video is story tickets. Story tickets are incredibly important, probably the most important currency in the game, and you can see they have a really long timer for how long it takes them to refresh. Whenever you hop into the game after you've done your initial reroll summons, the very first thing you want to do is hop into story and use every single story ticket that you can. That way they start refreshing, because if they fill up to max and they're sitting at max, then they won't be refreshing, and that's just going to make it take longer for you to eventually progress through the story unless you're buying story tickets. So as a free-to-play player, if you are a free-to-play player, make sure you are using these as soon as you log into the game. Every time you log into the game, do the story first. Don't worry about grinding PvP, don't worry about grinding other content, right? Do the story first. That is like literally the most crucial piece of beginner's advice I can give you. Do not forget that. That is something you are definitely going to need to do. The next piece of advice I'm going to give you is they give you a free seasonal character. Seasonal characters are some of the best characters in the game. Right now it's saying get the season 2 character when it comes out. I have already gotten the season 1 character. Make sure you guys are doing these missions whenever you get the chance so you can get the free seasonal character. The missions are fairly simple. It's just like doing stuff in game, like doing patrols or leveling up a character to level 80, leveling up a character to LR, so on and so forth. You know, stuff you're going to do anyways. So make sure you guys are paying attention to this particular tab right here, because that is going to give you a free character. Very, very important tab. Make sure you pay attention to that. Whenever you guys are logging into the game, make sure you are claiming your daily, or like, it's not really a daily, it actually happens like twice a day, but your rewards here, because it's on a timer, and then if you let it get to 100%, you get pretty decent rewards that can help you level up your characters, and also stamina and stuff that lets you progress through the game a little bit quicker. So make sure you are grabbing this every time you log into the game, because if you don't, it'll just sit there at 100% and not start building up again. As soon as you grab it though, it'll start building up again. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is don't waste character shards. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see people making. This is one of the biggest mistakes I made. So if you go to the character tab, which is that tab back there that you just saw, go back and pause the video if you need. If you're playing JP or KR, don't understand the translations, you can just see which tab I clicked. But when it comes to characters, let's go to, for example, Asta here. If I wanted to rank him up, this is the rank up button, the top one, and this is the level up button, and then this is going to be like the preview button. If I wanted to rank up Asta here, he has 4 clovers, right? I can go boom, boom, boom. I need 4 of these to rank him up. Or I could use one of his character pieces, right? But it gives us a little warning here. Hey, you might not want to do that, but we could do it. We could do it if we wanted to. Now, I'm not going to, and the reason is because once you get your 4 clovers done, it requires another 2 specific character pieces to level him up from SSR to UR. And if you don't have a character specific piece like you see right here, you won't be able to level him up. So save your character specific pieces and try to grind out those random pieces here that can be used on any character. Where do you grind out those pieces? This is important, and you won't be able to do it till you complete the story mode. So another reason to complete the story mode, but you're going to be able to get those pieces when you go into here and you go to the Hall of Memories. The Hall of Memories can give you some black crystals, as well as having a chance to drop these pieces, character pieces that you need as well. So make sure you're grinding these out after you complete the story. Every day you should be using your story tickets on these right here to have a chance to get the pieces you're going to need for your characters. Another really good piece of advice is to raise your world levels. As of right now, you can see I have all my world levels at 0. That's because I've been putting my stamina into other things. But you want to raise your world level as much as possible, because that's going to allow you to go into the shop, and that's going to allow you to buy gifts for your characters. What do gifts do? Well, they allow you to raise the bond level with your characters, and raising the bond level is what's going to give you those character pieces and stuff like that. So if I go back to the character screen here, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. When we take a look at Asta here, you'll see that he is bond level 9. Now, if we go into his bond menu, you can give him gifts, and that would raise him to level 10. And when he gets to level 10, I'd be able to get another piece for Asta. Getting that extra piece for Asta would actually still be good, even though he's already at max level and he's an LR, because you can still take those extra pieces and put them into Asta to give him these extra stars down here, like you see here. So you actually need a ton of duplicates of characters to get them to max 5 stars, max level. Like, it takes a ridiculous amount. So even more reason not to waste character shards. Do not waste character shards. I can't say that enough either. Like, those are the 2 biggest tips so far, is use your story tickets, don't waste character shards. Now, I talked about raising your world level, but let me talk really quickly about how you specifically want to do that. When you go into a world, each world has these little patrol stages, like you'll see right here. This one says 27 out of 27 because I have already completed this patrol stage. This patrol stage is the easiest in the game for you to complete all the way through. As you can see, I have all the missions done. You get 500 black crystals just from doing it. You get a free multi of tickets for doing it, so you want to make sure you're doing these patrols as well. But then after you guys have done these patrols, the key here is to go into them, and you want to do them on auto. This is the auto button, and you can set a max 16 times, however many times you want to do it, however much stamina you have, so stamina doesn't matter. And you want to just let this run through on auto. You can go to sleep, it doesn't really matter, it'll keep running. And then as it runs through on auto, it is going to level up your world, and then leveling up your world, like I said, is going to give you the ability to purchase gifts at the shop for that world. Each world has its own shop, so even if you level up world 1, it won't help you with world 2 shop. So keep that in mind. Each one has its own specific currency or metals, so keep that in mind as well when you guys are grinding. Another useful tip, and one a lot of people might not think about, maybe just because they're not at this point in the game yet, but is gear and gear leveling. You can actually level up gear, and you're going to want to level it up whenever you can. You can see that all my gear here on Asta is +4, +4, +4, +5, +8, +4. The max level up for SSR gear is +8. This right here is a +5 because I just didn't have enough resources to get it to +8 yet, and all of these are +4. When you do level up gear, there's a chance to fail, so keep that in mind. You're basically doing a gambling, and you can set it to where it keeps going until eventually you reach the +4 that you want to get, or reach the +8 you want to get. But it might take more than just 8 of the resources. It might take 16 resources to finally get there, so keep that in mind when you guys are leveling up your gear. To level up your gear from this menu, you just click this button right here, and then you go in here, and then you go here, and you're able to level up your gear. As you can see, this is already max level, but leveling up your gear is a good way to make you competitive in arena and PvP, and to also help you get through PvE content. Another thing that is important for you guys to be doing is to be working on PvP every day. You have 10 tries at a time. They do refresh over time, but make sure you are doing these PvP matches whenever you have the ability to do them. The reason you want to make sure you're doing them is because PvP is honestly just kind of like Grand Cross, going to be one of the best ways for you to farm out black crystals. You get rewards each time you rank up for the first time, and then eventually at the end of the season, or whenever the PvP rank period, whatever you want to call it, I can't think of the word right now, whenever the rank period ends, you'll get these rewards that are on the right hand side. So if you go all the way up to the top league, right, you'll see 810 right here, so that's a good amount of black crystals, plus another 800 right here for ranking up. So that is quite a few black crystals. So you want to make sure you're doing your PvP every day and trying to get to this top league. Now, early in the game, it might be hard to get to the top league, especially if you're a free-to-play player, because, you know, pay to win is definitely a thing in this game, and it becomes very apparent when you are doing PvP. Just a fair warning. The sheer amount of resources it takes to get your LRs level up to level 100 is actually ridiculous. You can see my Yami is at level 97 right now, and it takes so many mats to be able to level him up to level 100. Like right now, you can see how many I have. I have 70, I have 26, 4, 1, 8, and we'll go ahead and we'll just max them all in, right? I'm still not even at level 100. It takes me to level 99. I'm pretty close now. I'm a lot closer to having him at level 100, but the reason I'm pointing this out to you guys is there is a way to farm these mats, and it's going to take a lot of your stamina, and so you're probably going to have to make a choice between leveling up your worlds early on and leveling up your characters early on. And if you don't level up your worlds, you're not going to be able to have as many LR characters, but you will be able to have more level 100 LR characters because you have focused on getting the level up material to level up your characters. It's kind of a hard choice, especially if you're a free-to-play player. Now, if you're going to pay to play, I mean, then it doesn't really matter. You can just buy stamina, you can do whatever you want, right? But in order to farm out the mats that you need to level up your characters, you will need to go into this menu right here. This is called Blue Garden or something like that, something to that effect. You go in here, And you have different difficulties. They go all the way up to, I believe it is 15. Yep, goes all the way up to 15. Obviously, I haven't beaten all of them yet because they do get pretty high in battle power. My team's at like 116,000 right now. I could probably beat this one. I just haven't been bothered to. Typically, where I run my team at is around level 8 right here at 75,000. I can put it on auto and I can let it play through for however many tries it gives me with the stamina, and it's pretty smooth sailing. I come back to it after 50 tries, like I let it run while I'm sleeping, come back to it, and I have enough mats to at least get like one character to UR fully maxed out, or get one character, I guess, halfway through the LR maxing. It takes a decent amount of time. It takes a lot of stamina, a lot of resources, guys. So make sure you are just farming this whenever you have the opportunity. Whenever you're watching a TV show, something like that, just make sure you're putting that on auto and farming that out. The next thing I want to talk about is the achievements and missions. So this is your achievements tab. This is your missions tab. In the achievements tab, obviously it's very similar to Grand Cross as well. As you complete achievements, you get progression on this bar right here, and you get some black crystals at each like milestone that you get for achievements. So that's an easy way to farm out black crystals so that you can do extra summons. And another thing for missions, you have daily missions, which is the top one right here. You have weekly missions and you have monthly missions. Your daily missions, as you claim them, you'll hit rewards on the left hand side. Essentially, you can claim these rewards, and usually you get 10 black crystals per reward. You want to be trying to hit your max rewards each day, because that is going to allow you to complete this mission right here, which gives you gifts and these things. Like, these are really good rewards, and it's also a mission you have to complete for the weekly in order to get these rewards down here. So make sure you guys are getting max rewards every day when you log in, if you can, if it's possible for you. Another thing I want to talk about with you guys is food. You can make food here in the Black Bull's hideout with Charmy. If you go into this menu here, you can collect ingredients by fishing. Fishing is really simple. I don't really need to explain where or how to do that to you guys. You'll figure it out like right away early on in the game. But you want to make meals with Charmy. This food right here in particular, you can see 15%. It is going to increase your bond levels with your characters as you use them by 15%. This is a really good food to make, especially if you're trying to level up your bond levels and get the extra character pieces for your characters. I would highly recommend making this one. Another food is this one right here, and I've done a whole video on the different types of food, so I'm not going to go over all of them, but this one increases your drop rates. It's another good one, especially when you're farming out mats and stuff like that. So make sure you guys are just getting foods and grinding them out, cooking them whenever you have the ability to get your food. The very last piece of advice I have for you is to fight King Wolf whenever you guys have the chance. He is just a random spawn in, like on a timer, and he goes away after a little bit. He gives you a ton of Yule, gold, whatever you guys want to call it, right? And that is very, very important to the game, especially when you're leveling up equipment, when you're leveling up characters, especially when you get your characters to LR and you're trying to level them up. It costs like 200,000 gold to put a duplicate in at the very like minimum. So it is very important that you guys are getting as much gold as possible when you guys are playing the game. Besides that, there is a couple of other things in the game that are important to mention, but I'm not going to go over them too in depth. But there is this stuff right here. This is seasonal stuff that is supposedly supposed to change. Like, we have a seasonal boss right now, seasonal where you save Noel right now and you get a high score and so on and so forth. And you have these special stages here that I believe the special stages will actually be staying, but they do have limited tries per day. You have this mode in particular that is very important. It's like Endless Tower, kind of like Mortal Kombat. Goes all the way to, I believe, level 70, where you fight Licked at level 70. It's just a ton of levels, and you can see it gets progressively harder as you go, but it does have pretty good rewards, and this is a good way to farm out black crystals. So this is another thing you're going to want to be doing as you progress through the game and play the game. That is all my tips, guys. Hopefully this helps you out if you are a beginner. If you found this video helpful at all, please go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 10,000 by the end of the year, and I can really use your help, guys. So please help me out. Help me get to 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.